Well, as we're laying here, let's allow a couple of good deep breaths to flow through our body. Letting it flow in and out. And so taking a moment to connect with our intention, our biggest area of focus is the digestive system, especially the intestines that are in the belly area, helping to make sure that, we're feeling good and healthy in that area. So that means that we'll be doing different things like twists, and we'll be doing some forward folds, different things with the intention and the goal to help to kind of massage this area out. Even some of the breath work that we'll be doing, we'll pause a couple of times and take different yogic breaths. And all of this, the intention is imagining that we're massaging through these areas. So if there's any gunk that's just kind of become stagnant in our intestines, this gives it an opportunity to kind of, mechanically free it out by the way that we're moving and twisting and even kind of inverting a little bit. But the first thing I want us to do here while we're just comfortably laying on our backs is actually focus on lowering our breaths per minute. One of the things that can cause intestinal problems is a great deal of stress in our life. You know how right before you go public speaking, perhaps you get those butterflies in your stomach, and it's just that, that adrenaline and that stress, and that's a very common area that we hold it right there in the belly. And so what I'd like us to do is I'm going to time us for 1 minute, and I want us to see how few breaths we can get per minute. Usually when we become stressed, our breaths per minute increases. And so instead, we're purposely, consciously slowing that down to teach the body that we're in a safe spot. And so we'll start that timer right now. Just keep the inhales long. And eventually when you get to the exhale, super slow. This is a fun challenge to do at home too, to see how few you can actually get. Could you get to the point where you can only take 1 breath in a minute? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. So from that, we have a mental idea of, at this moment, what our breaths per minute is. So releasing all control over the breath, or perhaps trying to keep it slow like that. Let's bring our fingertips to touch. So everything but the thumb is trying to touch more or less together, kind of stacking. And then with the stacked hands, we start down toward the right hip. We circle up that side, across the top, kind of by the rib cage area, the solar plexus area, and then we trace down toward that left hip. So purposely going in this clockwise way, and just take a few nice circles. This is kind of our first kind thing that we're doing for the intestines. We're tracing in this direction because that's the direction of the colon. Take 2 more full circles. And that second circle finishes. Leave your left leg down, take your right knee in, clasping hands around that knee. We're trying to see how close we can get that right thigh in toward the belly. When we can get it really close, this one, some people call this pose the wind relieving pose because it helps to kind of squish some of the stuff out of this side. If you're bringing it in pretty deeply, you do even have the option to take the right arm under that right knee to try to pull it in even deeper. So just see what depth is possible. Whether we've got that whole right arm under the knee or we're just clasping with our hands, trying to keep the thigh just this close to the body. See how much you're capable of straightening this right leg out. The moment the thigh starts to travel away from the body, that's where we're gonna pause. Just letting it straighten out from this angle. It's kind of a muscular work to straighten out. One more good inhale. And then exhale, we release our hands so that we can take this knee into a nice twist over to the left side. Let this, imagine that you're feeling not only the muscular layer, but you're feeling kind of the deeper layer of the intestines underneath that, or even the kidney. And imagine that you're helping those areas. So that means that we're being conscious, we're not pushing it too far to the point of hurting the vertebrae, for instance, but we're trying to pull it to just that perfect edge where everything is kind of pulling away. It's as if we're creating length between the right shoulder and the right hip. Trying to pull as long as possible, those 2 points away from one another. Nice inhale. And then exhale. Right hip returns to the ground. Straighten the leg up to the sky. Trying to slide the hands as high up as we can reach with the head still able to relax on the ground. So that stretch going deeper than we were a moment ago. Good. Then as we relax this leg, it gets to drop all the way, resting on the ground. Left knee comes in. We're clasping under the thigh, or maybe the left arm is able to scoop under the knee so that we can pull this thigh in absolutely as close as we can get it to the torso. Imagining that any amount of that pressure of the thigh into the torso is only helping us to massage through the intestines. So see if you can take deep belly breaths. And in just breathing, we're helping to massage those intestines. Let's try to muscularly straighten the left leg as much as possible without separating the thigh from the torso. One more nice inhale. Exhale, letting the knee bend, free out the arms, send this knee to a twist. This one goes over to the right side. Again, think of those points, left hip and left shoulder. How much space can we pull those 2 points away from one another? Starting to return left hip down. Left leg gets to straighten up to the sky. Walk the hands as high up as possible to enjoy that stretch. And perhaps you're noticing already some energy kind of some new sensations going on in the abdominal area. One more nice inhale. Exhale, we let both knees bend, coming inward to the chest. Rock around on the hips for 2 or 3 good breaths. And sometimes it's nice to add a little bit of core strengthening just to help this whole area, the back and the abdominal area, become strengthened right around those intestines. So what we're going to do is open the arms like a figure T on the ground, nice and open. Stack the knees over the hips and then shoot the toes out so the knees are a nice 90-degree angle. And so here, with an inhale, you tilt the knees partway to one side. Maybe you kind of play with how far you can go without it being too much. And then anytime you do an exhale, you bring the knees back to the center. Inhale to go falling to the second side. Exhale back through the center. This is a little bit about that core strength, but see if you can also feel all those intestines underneath, getting a massage by us tilting it to each side. So 2 more to each direction. And last to each. Good. So when our hips are turned back up, we can roll like a ball a few times or just come directly to sit if your spine doesn't like the rolling like a ball action. Good. When you eventually make your way all the way up, let's take a couple of breaths with cobbler's pose, relaxing the spine up and forward. Next, feels extra tension right here. Perhaps you're rocking the head a little bit left and a little bit right. Rising up to the point where right leg can open to a wide angle, relax back forward. And rising up, switch the legs out. Relaxing back forward. Good. Coming back up, bring the legs together into a crossed, just comfortable seated position. And from here, we're going to do bellows breath while we take twists. So bellows breath, the idea is that we're pumping the lungs as full as they can go, and then we're squeezing it back out. So what this will look like with a twist is inhale, reach up. You're trying to expand the lungs and the belly as wide as possible. Exhale, twist to one side, squeezing everything out. Inhale up. Exhale down. Especially feel the belly opening and squeezing. So this in itself is a little twist and a little compression for that abdominal area. If you ever start to get lightheaded, slow the pace down a little bit. Two more each side. So this last inhale, reach up. Keep that inhale as the hands drop to the knees, so hold with that inhale. This will help to relieve any of that sensation of lightheadedness. And then exhale, hold without. And then start to return back to the normal breath. As we do that, we'll take a moment for some neck stretches. So let's drop the chin down to the chest. Posture stack tall. Just the head goes down. So this brings us into the stretch for the back of the neck. Start to rock the right ear closer to the right shoulder. It's not quite stacked on top of it yet. What we're trying to do is get to the muscle that connects right up behind the ear. Good. Let the right ear stack completely over the right shoulder. So now the head's leaning completely laterally. Continue to tilt the head just a little bit behind that right shoulder, not to crunch the cervical spine, but to kind of get into the muscle that connects in the front of the jaw. Good, returning back every step. Right ear is over right shoulder. And then tilt the nose down to start dropping the head in front of the right shoulder. Go all the way through the center, chin to chest. And start working left ear closer to left shoulder. The nose is still downward. As I kind of pull this right shoulder back, I'm exposing that stretch, the muscle that connects up to the ear. Stack the left ear over the left shoulder, rotating the head to that flat plane, kind of tilted to the side. And then as you continue to rotate the head just a little bit behind the shoulder, the nose tilts up a bit. Good, ear back over shoulder. Nose tilting down slightly in front of shoulder. And then dropping the chin all the way down to the chest, let the head drop heavy. More breaths, try to go slow, just like we started with in class. And when the head starts to rise up, we'll let ourselves rock back to a moment with boat pose. Just feeling that core become active. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross one ankle in front of the other. See if you can come forward and through to find yourself on hands and knees. So from here, explore a couple of cat-cows, rounding up and down. If the muscles are particularly tight, move extra slow, so that way you're not forcing anything to happen too quickly. And especially feel how this affects the abdominal area, the intestines in there. Kind of crunching them up and then stretching them out long. One more round for cat and cow. And then when spine goes to neutral, walk the hands forward, kneeling plank or perhaps ready for full plank. We'll hold this for a slow count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock the shoulders forward past the fingertips. Squeeze the elbows into lower down chaturanga. And then for this first back bend, don't feel like you have to go too far, but it's going to be a slow rise up to whatever depth feels good. So keep the elbows squeezed in. Maybe you stay with the baby cobra, this first one. Maybe the belly wants to go a little bit more. It's up to you how deep we take it. It's a spot where you're comfortable to maintain for about 3 more breaths. Good. And we'll head back to a child pose. For this child pose, make 2 fists, press the knuckles into one another, and then place that right in your belly area. This brings a little bit of extra pressure to that abdominal area so that when you breathe into the belly, it's helping to massage those intestines. Good. From here, at any point that you feel ready to release and head up to downward facing dog, you're welcome to release, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Add any movements that just feel good for the legs. And imagine, because the intestines are kind of tilted upside down, just by being in this pose, it's very helpful for just helping things to continue to move around. Good. So from here, float the right leg clear up to the sky, reach it high. And then step the right foot in between the hands. The back knee can be lifted or lowered. It's going to be up to you. If the back knee is lifted, really set up the front knee in a good, strong 90-degree angle so we've got some strength going on there. Either way, the torso starts to rise and we float the arms upward, maybe even leaning slightly backward, a little arch. Good. We start to hook the left wrist onto that right thigh. And maybe we continue to slide down to the point where the elbow is past the thigh so that we can bring hands to prayer position. If you're in prayer position, push the top hand into the bottom hand to help the abdominal area twist. Good. Unwind the arms, reach back up high. Bring the right hand into a fist, place that on the right side of the abdomen, and then lean the abdomen onto the thigh. The left arm is shooting forward like an arrow. Good, left arm reaches up. Rotate the back heel down. We're opening for warrior two. Straightening that right leg. Heading to triangle pose. Reach the fingers forward first. And then the right hand drops to shin, left hand up to sky. Feel yourself peeling this left shoulder open to stack, and notice what that does to that left part of the waist. Opening that area. So you've got a little bit of kind of almost like a crunch on the right waist, and then that lifted length on the left waist. Beautiful. As this left hand starts to twist down toward the ground, plant the left hand, plant the right hand, step back to plank, lower chaturanga. A nice back bend, pausing for a little while. Feel the length in the abdomen area. Good, at least a couple of breaths with the double fist in the belly in child pose. Breathe into the fists. And when you're ready for downward facing dog, rise up to that place. Floating the left leg up high, reach it long for a moment. Good inhale. And exhale, step it in between hands. Again, the back knee can drop. If we're keeping the back knee lifted, remember to activate the front leg into lots of strength. Eventually float the arms up. Maybe a slight back bend, leaning back to stretch the abdominal area. Taking the left wrist to the right thigh, or sliding down to the elbow. Hands would be in prayer position if you're going to the elbow. I think I said right thigh. That's what the confusion was, it's the left thigh. Good, unwinding back up, reach the arms up, maybe lean back for a moment. Good, left hand to a fist, place that at the left abdomen, lean that onto the thigh, and the right arm is that straight arrow shooting forward. Breathe into the abdomen. Good, as the right arm rises, open to warrior two. Straighten left leg, triangle pose. Reach first and then lower. So the waist. And keep the breath slow into the abdomen. Beautiful. Unwinding by dropping the right hand down, also plant left hand. Step back, maybe a flow, lowering. If you take that flow, pause for a little bit extra in the cobra or the baby cobra. Even Sphinx pose is fine. A couple of breaths with that same type of child pose. Two fists, lean forward. Breathe into the belly. And then as torso rises, sit to one side of the feet, extend the legs forward. From here, we're planting the right foot, the right knee is pointing up. Hook the left arm around that knee. Set up the posture tall. And then exhale, start to wind the spine. Feel yourself breathing into that thigh. Using that gentle compression as the massage. Turning forward, let that thigh fall down. Inhale, circle arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Rising up, switch the legs so you can take the twist on the other side. So now right leg is long, left foot plants. Hook the right arm around that left knee. Posture sets up tall with the inhale. Exhale, continue to wind the spine. And then holding in that pose, breathe into the belly. One more nice inhale. Exhale, return forward, let the thigh fall down. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, release down, forward fold. If you get all the way to kind of belly on thigh, again, breathe into the thigh. Letting every breath be an extra massage for that abdominal area. Torso rises up. Try to balance through a boat pose. And then letting the knees go wide, slide the feet into cobbler's pose. Lift the spine up tall to release forward. So rises back up, back to boat. Maybe the knees are bent for this boat, maybe trying to straighten it out a bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross the ankles, come forward onto hands and knees. Maybe lifting up to plank and perhaps taking a flow. Straight to down dog this time. Wiggles through the legs, still absolutely allowed. Float the right leg up to the sky. And step the right foot in between the hands. Just like before, float the arms up. Maybe a slight leaning backwards. Bringing hands to prayer position, see if you can hook that left elbow to the right thigh immediately. Wind in a way that helps you feel the abdominal twist, and then breathe a couple of breaths into that thigh. Good. Unwind, circle the arms up. From here, as we lean forward, the left hand drops to the inside of left foot, or the inside of that right foot. This right arm reaches up, continue to twist and spiral the spine even deeper. And then as we start to bring the right hand down, what we're going to do is balance on the front foot as we take our left knee to the outside of the right foot, coming to sit with this kind of cross-tucked shape. Good, we made it. So it's heading into another twist from here. Posture's tall. We're hugging around that left elbow around right. Good inhale. Exhale, spiral until you feel a place where the belly area is opening up in a good way. And then take some breaths to massage through the intestinal area there. One more good breath in and out. Returning forward, see if you can continue to slide this right foot to tuck even deeper in. This would be right knee stacking on top of left knee. If that makes the hips do anything weird, slide to cross leg instead. And then posture's up tall. We take that forward fold. Maybe you'd like to play with bringing the fists into the belly area. So relax forward, breathe into the belly. Good, rising up, try to balance through boat. Knees go wide, grab the feet, set into cobbler. Rising up through boat, maybe extended leg version. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross an ankle in front, come forward and through, straight to plank. Lowering chaturanga. Back bend, maybe pause for that belly. Eventually downward facing dog. Right leg floats up to the sky, left leg. And left foot steps in between hands. You have your balance, float the arms up. Maybe leaning slightly backwards. Hands to prayer position, try to hook right elbow. Breathe the belly into the thigh. Good. Unwind back up. Maybe lean back. And then as the right hand drops down to the floor, lift the left arm up. Stack the shoulders, spiral the spine. And then when the left hand comes down, we work our way to balance on the front foot so that that right knee can be placed on the outer left foot. Coming down to sit, posture's up tall. Wind the right elbow around that knee. The other hand's behind. Maybe take another inhale to set up the posture. Exhale to twist as deep as the belly feels good with. And then breathe the belly into the thigh. Starting to return forward. We're trying to get maybe the left knee to stack on top of the right knee. That left foot tucks in. Otherwise, just slip down to an easier variation like cross leg. If you'd liked having fists in the belly before, let that get set up first as we relax forward. Either way, try to breathe the belly into the thighs. Maybe even consciously trying to slow down the breaths per minute. One more good inhale. Exhale, rise up, floating to boat. Grab the ankles, head into cobbler. Rising up, boat, maybe extended version. And crossing ankles forward and through, maybe straight to plank, taking a flow. Feel free to pause as long as you wish in the back bend. Belly stretching long. Up to down dog sooner or later. Gazing forward, bending the knees, step walk or jump all the way up to the top. Long spine before we release deeper, maybe belly getting placed against thighs. Taking a couple of breaths into that. Next inhale to rise. And exhale, hands down to the heart. Floating the right knee in front of us. Left hand takes over that outer thigh. The right arm tries to open up behind us. And again, feel the abdominal area twisting. Either continue to balance here or return forward so that the left hand can grab the outer right foot. Trying to extend it forward before we open back up. Good. Returning forward, take this leg through warrior three, maybe airplane arms float. Landing that foot at the back of the mat. Set up for the twist, right elbow hooking to left thigh. Spiral the arms back up, maybe a slight back bend. Arms can open up like the airplane arms, floating forward, warrior three. And from this warrior three, right hand tries to drop down. Once that's set up, we do the reverse type of half moon pose. The left arm is the one that's trying to lift, so it's kind of like a twisted variation. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, left hand down, drop the right foot down, forward fold. You ever want to try to place those fists into the belly in the forward fold? Breathe into it. Either way, next inhale helps us rise. Exhale, hands down to heart. Floating the left knee in front of us. Right hand tries to take the thigh, left arm looking behind. Either stay here or return forward so that the right hand can take the outer left foot, sending it forward to take the twist there. Good, return forward, float this leg back, warrior three. Plant the toes, float up for a moment, hands to heart, hook the left elbow to right thigh. Good, floating back up, maybe slight back bend. And then taking off into warrior three. This time, left hand down, right hand tries to spiral open. Keep the leg lifting as high as possible. Inhale. Exhale, right hand down, left foot down. Forward fold, maybe with fists in the belly. Dropping the fingers downward if they're not there already. Heel toe the big toes to touch, inner thighs are squeezing together. We're gonna try to balance with the toe squat. So the heels start to lift, we lower the hips down toward the heels. Maybe fingers need to stay on the ground or maybe hands can come up to the heart. You try to bring the right hand to kind of hook the elbow on that left thigh like a twist. And the left arm just reaches up to the sky. The right hand is welcome to touch the floor. That'll help with the balance. Good. Good. Spine, unwind, bringing hands back to heart. And then we bring the left arm down toward the floor, hooking it on the outside. Right arm reaching up. Beautiful. Unwind. Back up to heart one more time. And then letting the knees go wide, separate the feet just a little bit, and try to kind of round into a small little ball as you reach the arms forward. Good. Eventually setting up our hands such that we can have maybe one hand in front, one hand behind, hips can gently lower down. Come up to boat for a moment. And then grabbing ankles into cobbler. Up to boat, maybe extended. And then to simple cross leg seat. So from here, we're going to include a yogic breath. This one is one where we exhale completely. After the exhale, we try to suck our belly up into the ribcage area, kind of like little kids do to show off. Just hold that as long as it's comfortable. When you feel the need to inhale, release first and then inhale. And we'll continue for a minute or two, just breath after breath, however long. It's okay if you only hold it for 2 seconds, or if you hold it for 10 seconds, it's okay. I tend to find it easiest to have my hands on my knees so that I can kind of help to curl everything in with that sucking motion. So whenever you're ready, take a natural inhale, belly can expand. Exhale all the air out. And then suck it in. Whenever you need to inhale again, let the belly out first, and then inhale. Good, and I know I find it helpful to tuck the chin in to kind of keep it locked. So whenever you're ready for the next round, just keep on going, just like that. Imagine each time we suck it in, we're helping to massage the intestines. I'll usually do one full breath cycle in between. Whatever length you have, let's put maybe 2 more cycles. Whenever you finish that last one, you'll just naturally head toward the direction of your Shavasana, taking any last stretches your body would really love to do to finish off your class. No rush. When we are ready for our Shavasana, some of us might choose to do a couple more of those clockwise belly circles with our fingertips, maybe 3, 4, 5 circles. Perhaps choosing after that to leave the hands resting on the belly, almost like an energetic boost while we're in Shavasana, maybe not. Either way, during the Shavasana, just take beautiful, slow breaths all the way into the belly, giving the belly one last gift of love. beginning to deepen our inhales and exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Essentially stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Sooner or later, perhaps taking a fetal position. Enjoying a couple of bonus breaths here, maybe 3 or 4, until sooner or later you feel ready to come up to a comfortable seated place. Whenever we arise, we can join our hands together in front of our hearts. As we start to reconnect with our intention, so much love for our intestines, for our belly. They help us to receive all the nutrients out of our food. And metaphorically, what if we were more like our belly? What if we tried to receive all the good that everybody had to offer, and we truly believed that everybody had a little bit of good, a little gift for us to learn? And so in this way, continuing to head forward with this digestive health, with good metabolism, with good flow through our intestines, with this idea to help lead us on with health and wellness for the rest of this marvelous day, let's wrap up the time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.